Cohen. I'm an attorney for the town of Plainfield. Today we're going to be conducting a tax sale of tax delinquent properties. The properties that are being auctioned are the ones that are posted in the notices around the room and in the materials you got when you registered. All other properties that are scheduled for auction today have been canceled due to payment. The ones that are on the list are the ones that we're auctioning today. Let's talk about what a tax sale is. A tax sale is a non-judicial foreclosure. That means that without going to court, under state law, a town can put properties up for public auction and use the proceeds to pay off delinquent taxes. It's a foreclosure because we're turning a contingent interest into an actual one. The contingent interest is the tax lien. The actual interest is a deed. This is a tax deed sale, not a tax lien sale. You're buying the property itself, not the right to foreclose. I'm an attorney for the town and for the fire districts, not for you. That means that I can't give you legal advice. I can only explain to you the way the auction procedure will go and the town and district's position on certain issues. All other issues are up to you to determine with your own attorney. It's up to you to seek your own legal advice on your rights and obligations as a bidder and as a property owner. I am not your lawyer. The properties are also being sold as is in all respects. That means it's up to you to know exactly what it is you're bidding on. The town and I made absolutely no representations whatsoever that these properties are buildable, habitable, suitable for a particular purpose, worth what you pay for them, free from contamination, reachable by road or utility, up to code, in compliance with any federal, state, or local laws, or anything else about the properties. You're buying them as is, with all faults. It's also going to be up to you to eject any holdover occupants after you take title. If the people who live there, or work there, or occupy it don't leave voluntarily, you must use lawful methods to remove them. That means going to court and evicting them. It does not mean changing the locks or picking the people and their things up and throwing them out and putting them on the sidewalk. That's illegal even if you're the owner, okay? Don't do it. The legal procedure is the same as a landlord when a tenant has stopped paying rent. You can't just change the locks or kick them out. You have to go to court. It's a summary process procedure. Does everyone understand everything I've said so far? Okay. Next, in order to bid, you must have registered with me. Registration required showing me your ID and your deposit, which I then gave back to you. I don't have anything of yours, so you're free to go as you like, and this auction is also open to the public. Anyone who wants to watch without registering is free to do that. When you register, you got a number from me. This is how you're going to bid. If you want to bid, you're going to hold your number up nice and high so that I can see it. If you don't want to bid, don't hold up your number or make it look like you're bidding. Does everyone understand that? Very important piece of information. Okay. A wink or a nod or any of these other things that people can use to try to bid, they can be confusing. We don't want any confusion, so just hold up the number if you want to bid. Next, the bidding is going to start at the total due is posted around the room and in the materials. It'll go up from there and increments at my discretion. The law obligates me to try to maximize the amount of the bid, not so that the town can make a profit. It can't. It can only keep what it's owed plus the cost of the auction. Everything above and beyond that is called an overbid. The overbid will go to a court, and a court will decide who gets it. It will not be you. It will not come back to you. That overbid will go to the other creditors or ultimately to the former owner as the judge decides. It will not come back to you. Next, if you're the winning bidder, you are going to immediately step forward and give me your $5,000 deposit. Then you will have 5 days to pay the rest of your bid. That means by Monday, March 11th, by 4 p.m., you must get me the difference between your deposit and your bid in certified funds in my Bridgeport office. Not here at Town Hall, not I need a little more time. Absolute drop-dead deadline, 4 p.m. this Monday, March 11th. No exceptions, no extensions, no excuses. If you think you will not be able to pay the difference between your deposit and your bid and have it in my hands in certified funds in my Bridgeport office by 4 p.m. this Monday, don't bid. Does everyone understand that? Next, if you don't do that, you will forfeit your deposit and not get any of it back and not get the property, and you're just out of luck. Does everyone understand that? Okay? Very important. If that occurs, the town will have the option of going to the second place bidder and on down the line to see if they want to go through with the sale at their bids. They don't have to match the first place bid, but if they choose to, they can pay their entire lower bid and take title. Everyone follow that. Next, the winner's name and address is going to be posted in public notices. It'll be recorded in the land records, and it'll be sent to all owners and lien holders of the property they bought. This is required by law. If you don't want the person whose house you just bought to know your name and address, don't bid. Does everyone understand that? The name that's going to be on the deed is going to be the name on the top line of your registration form, exactly as you wrote it. I can't change it later. If there's anybody who wants to change the name that they've registered under so that it can be put in a different name when they get title, the time to change it is right now. Does anyone want to change the name that's going to be on the deed if they win? It's okay, we'll wait. Anyone wants to do that? I know someone's going to give me a call and say, wait, I want to put in my wife's name or my LLC's name. You can't do it. Everyone follow? The law requires me to create the deed right after the auction. Next, there's a mandatory 6-month waiting period. It starts today and it goes through September 5th of 2019. From now until then, if you're the winning bidder, even if you've paid your deposit, paid your bid, done everything else you were supposed to do, you still don't own the property during that 6 months. You're just waiting. During that 6 months, any owner or lien holder has the right to pay off the debt plus interest. And if they do that, the auction is canceled retroactively and they keep their property. Instead, you as the bidder will get back your deposit, the rest of your bid, and 1.5% per month interest. For example, if you bought a property today for $100,000, paid your $5,000 deposit, paid your $95,000 the rest of your bid, and then someone redeemed on the very last day of the 6-month period, you will get back $109,000, okay? It doesn't matter what the debt was, you get paid interest on your bid, and it's 1.5% per month times 6 months. Everyone follow that? And if they redeem earlier, you get less interest. Everyone follow that? If that happens, I'll notify you. I'll send you a letter that says there's been a redemption and here's your check. And the check will be for the amounts that I just said. If it doesn't happen, you won't hear from me. You're welcome to call me if you'd like, but I will notify you if it occurs. At the end of the 6-month period, if there's been no redemption, that's when I'll send you a letter that says you are now the owner and here's a copy of your deed. The deed will be recorded for you in the land records a day or two later. Okay? There's an exception to this rule if the federal government is the one that redeems. The federal government has a lien on the property and it's the one that redeems. Then they get 10 months instead of 6, and they pay 0.5% per month instead of 1.5% per month. In 20 years of doing these auctions, I've never seen the federal government redeem, but if they do, I just want to make sure you understand they get longer and they pay less. Everyone follow? Okay. Next, the effect on title. What is it you're getting? Again, this is a tax deed sale, not a tax lien sale. You're buying the property itself, not the right to foreclose. The deed that gets recorded is going to extinguish all other monetary interests in the property. Liens, like judgment liens, monetary caveats, mortgages, you won't have to pay those. Those will be extinguished. It will also extinguish the owner's interest in the property. It will also pay all taxes in the property owed to the town and to the district through at least December 31st of this year. At least through December 31st of this year. That is if the total amount posted around the room is the bid. That bid includes a projection of the taxes due through next year. Okay? It'll also include an estimate of the January bill. So assuming you pay the full amount, most of the January bill should be included. Whatever is not, you'll have to pay after you take title. You will have taken title in September, so a few months later, the difference in the bill in January, you'll need to write a check. Everyone understand that, okay? Both to the town and to the districts. Another thing that is not extinguished is federal, state, or local taxes by any other government entities, if there are any that have the power to tax these properties. They are not extinguished by this property auction. Non-monetary encumbrances like easements, covenants, restrictions in favor of other parcels of land, those are not extinguished. Those will carry through and be binding on the new owner. If there's anything else listed in the surviving encumbrances section of the materials you got when you registered for a particular property, that will also survive the sale. I'm going to go through, when we go through each property, I'm going to alert you to a couple of other things that may be exceptions to what I just said. Next, again, the IRS has an exception. If the federal government records a new lien during the redemption period, that lien will also survive the auction, meaning you'll have to pay it, unless you find it 5 months from now, send a copy of it to me, and I can send a special notice to the IRS which will extinguish it. I rely on you to do that. I don't run a separate title search. What you'll need to do is either jump online or into the town hall, see if there's a new federal government lien. If it's a private encumbrancer, you don't care. But if the IRS or another federal agency has recorded a lien on the property, send a notice of it to me. I'll send you a letter that tells you exactly how and when to do that, and I can send that special notice. Everyone understand everything I've said so far? Yes?
You said that if there's a lien holder on a property, they have a right to pay the amount. Of course, the property still remains in the owner's name. Is that correct?
Exactly. You don't take title if you're a lien holder by redeeming. All you do is reset it like this tax sale never happened.
Thank you.
Yes?
If there are real estate taxes that are delinquent and they're not reflected in the sheet because, say, it's just a Plainfield fire foreclosure.
That's one of the exceptions. One of the properties is being done just by the fire district, and Plainfield taxes, they're not delinquent, so they're not included in the auction. There will be taxes that come due in July. The bank has been escrowing those, so we expect that they'll be paid again, but they might not be. If they're not, you'll have to pay them, because there'll be a tax in front.
There's one property that's on that payment plan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll get to that.
Okay.
It's,
May.
yeah, 1 May.
50%.
Any other questions? Okay. Last, a word about title insurance. There is no law that says you must get title insurance on property that you own or sell, but most buyers from you and most lenders to you expect title insurance. The town and I do not guarantee title insurability of any property you buy today. Title insurers make their own decisions about whether or not to insure title on a property, and they do it based on factors that have nothing to do with the law. They do it based on things like risk and profit and all sorts of things that do not, we can't guarantee and we can't control. So I want you to be aware of that you may not be able to get title insurance on any property you buy today, at least for the first year. Most title companies will wait 1 year after you get your deed before they'll even consider giving a title policy. And that's because there's a 1-year statute of limitations for someone to sue to undo a tax sale. And they would rather you bear that expense than them. Is there anyone else who has any other questions about anything I've said? Okay. We're going to go in the order that's in the packets that I handed out. We're going to go nice and slowly. And if anyone has any questions at any point during this entire process, from start to finish, any questions, just interrupt. Which property are you on? What was the last bid? I don't understand title insurance. I want to know everything about you that you just said. Just say it all again. No problem. Interrupt, and we'll do that. Anyone have any questions? You ready? The first property is 0226-230-238 Norwich Road. The owner is Birchman. The opening bid is $380,061.91. Is there a bid for that amount? Any bid? We're going to come back to that one.
Do you take bids less than the amount?
We might. The town will have to make a decision on that. So we're going to come back to that one at the end. Lot 11A and 57 Brunswick Avenue. The owner is Old Village Mill. 2 notes about this one. Some of the earlier notices referred to a 6.5-acre parcel on Brunswick Avenue owned by Glens Hall Realty. That property has been removed from the auction. It's not included. So the 2 parcels that are being auctioned are Lot 11A and 57 Brunswick Avenue. Does everyone understand it's just 2 parcels instead of 3? And next, one of the notices referred to a municipal expense lien for $13,930, which would have to be paid by the bidder. That's been released. You don't have to pay it, okay? So even though the notices say you have to pay that, you don't. It's been released. It's in the land records now, right? That's been released?
Yes.
It's gone. So you don't have to pay that. So the 2 parcels that are left, 11A and 57 Brunswick Avenue, $51,298.63. Will someone bid that amount? Bidder 9. 55, 51,298.63 from bidder 9. Bidder 14 says 55. 60. Bidder 9. 65. 60,000 from bidder 9. Will someone bid more? 60,000 from bidder 9. Will someone bid more? 60,000 is going once. 60,000 is going twice. Bidder number 9 is declared the winning purchaser, subject to the terms and conditions I've explained at $60,000. Bidder 9, please step forward with your deposit. This is your receipt for the deposit. It tells you how to get the rest of the money. Okay? Don't wait till the next parcel is 51 May Street. 51 May Street. The owner of record is Melu. I'm gonna butcher that. Opening bid is $6,132.32. This is the one where if the bank doesn't pay the July tax bill, you must. Does everyone follow that?
Adam, no, this is the one that's
This is
on,
not the one?
no, this is the one that's on a payment plan, who he owes us taxes.
Oh, he does owe you taxes?
Yeah.
How much does he owe you, do you know?
Quite a bit. I can go run down and find out.
We should find out because
All right.
that's going to be relevant. We're going to skip that one for now. We'll move on to the next one and come back. 13 Church Street. The owner of record is Smith. The opening bid is $19,040.85. Will someone bid that amount? For 13 Church Street, bidder 1. 25. Bidder, can't see your number, 16. Says 25. 35. Bidder 3. 35, I'm sorry, 35. 45.
Okay, thank you.
35,000, will someone bid 45? 40? Bidder 16 says 40. 45, yes. 50? 45,000 from bidder 3, will someone bid 50? For 13 Church Street? 45,000 from bidder 3 is going once. Bidder 5 says 50. 55. Bidder 3. 60. 55,000 from bidder 3. Will someone bid 60? 55,000 from bidder 3 for 13 Church Street is going once. Bidder 5.
56,000.
56,000. 57. Yes. 58. Yes. 60. Yes. 62. No. 60,000 from bidder 3. Will someone bid more? 60,000 from bidder 3 for 13 Church Street is going once. Going twice. Bidder number 3 is declared the winning purchaser, subject to the terms and conditions I've explained at $60,000. Bidder 3, please step forward with your deposit. Okay, going back to 51 May Street. 51 May Street, the opening bid is $6,132.32. That does include the projection of the fire taxes. The town taxes, which you will need to pay, and sewer charges, if you will need to pay, if they are not paid by the owner, are $11,657 today. They'll go up or down depending on whether he continues to make payments or whether there's interest that gets added on. So factor in at least probably $12,000, deduct that from whatever you think the property is worth, and that's your bid. Does everyone follow that? Okay. 51 May Street, $6,132.32 plus the taxes. Will someone bid that amount? Bidder 8. $10,000.
50.
Bidder 16 says 50. 50,000. 55. Bidder 4. 60. Yes. 65. Yes. 70. 75. Bidder 16 says 70,000 for 51 Main Street. 70,000 for bidder 16. Will someone bid more?
71.
Bidder 3 says 71. 75.
72.
16 says 72. 73. 74. 75. 74,000 from bidder 16. Will someone bid more? 74,000 from bidder 16. Will someone bid more? $74,000 from bidder 16 for 51 May Street, plus the obligation to pay the town taxes, whatever they are, probably $12,000. Any more bids? 74,000 is going once. 74,000 is going twice. Bidder 16 is declared the winning purchaser, subject to the terms and conditions I've explained at $74,000. Bidder 16, please step forward with your deposit. This is your receipt. The next property is 47 Allen Street. The owner of record is Gadias, 47 Allen Street. Opening bid, $18,013.33. Will someone bid that amount? $18,013.33. Do I have a bid? Bidder 3. 25. 47 Allen Street, will someone bid 25? No bids? $18,013.33 for 47 Allen Street is going once.
19.
Bidder 16 says 19,000. 22? Yes. 25? No. 22,000 for bidder 3, will someone bid more? 22,000, will someone bid more for 47 Allen Street? 22,000 is going once. 22,000 is going twice. Bidder 3 is declared the winning purchaser, subject to the terms and conditions I've explained at $22,000. Please step forward with your deposit. Next, 16 Shepherd Hill. This is a mobile home. We're only selling the mobile home, not the land underneath it. If you buy this property, 6 months from now, when you get your deed, you must either remove the mobile home, or work out a deal with the owner of the land underneath it to keep it there. Does everyone understand that? Either remove it or work out something with the owner of the land to keep it there. 16 Shepherd Hill, owner of record is Young, opening bid is $5,160.32. Is there a bid for that amount? Any bid? We'll come back to that one. Next, mobile home at 11 Harrington Drive. The owner of record is Lawrence. Same deal. You must either remove the mobile home when you take title or work out a deal with the owner there of the land to keep it there. Everyone understand that? Opening bid, $7,271.73. Is there a bid for that amount? Any bids? We'll come back to that one as well. Brook Road, owner of record is Tarbox. Opening bid, $49,37.66. Will someone bid that amount? Any bids on Tarbox? We'll come back. 0 Kate Downing Road, the owner of record is Shippey. The opening bid is $20,142.17. Any bids?
15.
15 from bidder 7. I don't know if the town will accept that. Does anyone want to bid more than 15? All right, the town's going to accept that offer unless there's someone who wants to bid more. 15,000 from bidder 7. Anyone else want to bid? 15,000 is going once. 15,000 is going twice. Bidder 7 is declared the winning purchaser, subject to the terms and conditions I've explained, at $15,000. Bidder 7, please step forward with your deposit. Last property is 0 Starkweather Road. The owner of record is Bernard. Does anyone want to bid $6,304.61 on that property? No bids. We're going to come back, we're going to cycle back through the ones that did not get bids. In a minute. Okay, first is the 4 parcels on Norwich Road, 0, 226, 230, and 238 Norwich Road. The owner is Birchman. The opening bid was $380.61.91, yes.
A question, I know you're contemplating taking bids for less than the amount due, and I know we get interest, but do we get interest based on the face values?
No, you get interest on what you pay.
Even though you're buying
You get interest on what you pay.
okay. And what happens to the balance? I mean, does the balance go away?
The balance is still owed by the debtor, but it's no longer a lien on the property.
It's no longer a lien in the property. So if you were high bidder at a reduced figure, you either get the interest back on what you pay, or you get the property at a lower figure, and the rest of the liens is...
It still extinguishes all the liens, so
Okay.
you still get title free and clear,
Okay.
but you...
So the town
you're
can
earning
go out
less interest.
individually if they so desire,
Right,
but there's nothing on the property.
that's correct.
Okay.
Any other questions before we begin? Okay, it was $380.61.91. Will someone offer $250? No bids. $200. I don't know if the town will take $200. $200,000. All right, I can open it up. I don't know if the town will take less. Does someone want to make an offer?
100.
100 for bidder.
15, I'm sorry.
Bidder 15 offers 100,000. Does anyone want to offer more for the town to consider? How much?
110.
Bidder 14 says 110. More?
115.
115. 115 from bidder 15. Will anyone bid more? Again, I don't know if the town will accept. 115,000. Any offers?
So when this happens, you divide it kind of pro rata between the town and the district if you want to set. You can reduce one over two, but you can also just postpone and wait until we find another bidder. That's still up to you. And it might still be, it's either a decision or two. It might sit there forever. You can always put it up again. Yeah. Just try. I can tell you that when I take a property off and postpone it, the likelihood of it selling again or less is probably less than 10%. It's not zero. It's less than 10%. The odds are low that we'll find another bidder, but not impossible. Unfortunately, I just can't. Now remember also, taking a bid or even accepting $100,000 might prompt the bank to pay because they're going to lose their mortgage. Usually, my typical advice is take their bid. Yeah. Okay.
All right, the town is going to accept that offer unless anyone wants to offer more. 115,000? Give me 1 second. Anyone want to offer more? Going once. 150,000 is going twice. Bidder 15 is declared the winning purchaser subject to the terms and conditions I've explained at $115,000. Okay. Sir. Okay, next is the mobile home at 16 Shepherd Hill. Does anyone want to make an offer on that property? Mobile home at 16 Shepherd Hill, any offers? Any offers? Hearing none, that auction is postponed to a date to be announced by the tax collector. The next property is 11 Harrington Drive. Any offers? Mobile home at 11 Harrington. Any offers? Hearing none, that auction is postponed to a date to be determined by the tax collector. Next is 0 Millbrook Road, the tar box property. Any offers? Any offers? Hearing none, that auction is postponed to a date to be determined by the tax collector. And last is Bernard, 0 Starkweather Road. Any offers? Any offers? Hearing none, that auction is postponed to a date to be determined by the tax collector. Thank you everyone for coming. That concludes the auction.